All right, first things first. What are college loans? When you go to college, you'll probably notice that tuition and fees are way more than just a couple $100. If you're like most people, you don't have the cash lying around to pay for it up front, and that's where loans come in. A college loan is money you borrow from the government or a private lender to cover your school costs. The catch? You'll have to pay it back later with interest, which means you end up paying more than what you originally borrowed. So, what types of loans are we talking about? Well, there are mainly two kinds. Federal loans. These are loans backed by the government. They're often a better deal because they come with fixed interest rates and more flexible repayment plans. The most common ones are the direct subsidized and unsubsidized loans. Private loans. These come from banks or other financial institutions. They can have variable interest rates and less flexible terms, which can make them riskier. Typically, you want to avoid these unless you absolutely have to take them out. You might be thinking, okay, I get it. I'll have to pay them back eventually, but why does it matter now? Here's why. The sooner you understand how loans work, the easier it is to make smart choices about them. College loans aren't just future use problem, they're going to be something you deal with for years to come after graduation. In fact, student loan debt is one of the biggest types of debt in the U.S. right now. Not understanding the impact of loans can mean paying thousands more than you need to. That's why it's super important to start thinking about the long term, like how much you'll owe after graduation, and how to manage paying it back without putting yourself in a financial hole. Okay, so how do you make sure you're not buried in debt later on? Only borrow what you need. It's tempting to take out extra money, but the more you borrow, the more you'll have to pay back. Keep in mind that loans are not free money. If you can get by with just what you need, do it. Understand the interest rates. With federal loans, the interest is usually lower, but private loans can be a lot higher, especially if you have bad credit. The higher the interest, the more you'll end up paying in the long run. Look into repayment plans. When you graduate, you'll be given a repayment plan, but it's up to you to make sure it works for your budget. There are options like income-driven repayment plans, which can help lower your monthly payments based on how much you earn. Start paying early, even if it's just a little. If you can afford to pay a small amount while you're still in school, even if you're not required to, it can make a huge difference in the long run. Plus, the less you owe when you graduate, the less stress you'll have about paying it off. Know the grace period. After graduation, you usually get a 6-month grace period before you have to start paying your loans back. Use that time to get your finances together, but don't forget about it. Those payments are coming. Okay, so you've got your loans and you've learned how to manage them. Now, why is it important to pay them off? Well, think of it like this. Your student loans are a financial weight that's going to follow you around until you pay them off. The longer you take to pay them back, the more you'll end up paying in interest. Plus, having outstanding debt can affect your credit score, which makes it harder to get things like a car loan, mortgage, or even a good job in some cases. So, paying off your loans as soon as possible gives you financial freedom, allows you to build your credit, and gives you more opportunities down the road. All right, guys, that's a quick rundown on college loans. Here's the bottom line. They're something you have to deal with, but if you're smart about how much you borrow, understand the terms, and stay on top of your payments, you can avoid a ton of stress later on. If you found this helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Got any questions about student loans or other personal finance topics? Drop them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them. And remember, knowledge is power. Stay smart, stay informed, and you'll set yourself up for success down the road. Catch you next time.